Hi, and welcome to Tech Talk. With the recent explosion in online content while we've all been practicing our social distancing, I've had a number of people reach out to learn more about how I film these Tech Talks, namely the techniques I use to leverage green screen technology. Now, I'm certainly no expert, but over the years and through a number of mistakes and plenty of hacks, I've cobbled together a setup that produces video and audio quality that's sufficient for my purposes, and I'm going to share a few of those tips with you in this month's Tech Talk. I'm going to break this down into 4 quick areas. 1, green screen setup and lighting. 2, video. 3, audio. And 4, editing, or how to do the post-processing that makes this all possible. First, green screen setup and lighting, and this is one of the most important pieces because if you don't do this right, it may be impossible to edit your video and get the green screen effect to work properly. These days you see people using green screens, blue screens, or other screens. Green's generally your safest bet since your subject's hair and skin tones typically don't contain much of the color spectrum that will be removed when you try to pull the green screen out. Just be sure you don't wear any clothes that are similar in green to your background for obvious reasons. The screen itself can be as simple as a green sheet. In fact, for a long time, I had a green sheet hung here in my basement that worked really well. Of course, every time I took it down and set it back up, I had to steam out the wrinkles. Those wrinkles can cause shadows, and the shadows can make it difficult to pull the key, as they say, meaning remove the green when you get to the editing stage. Today I have a wall in the spare utility room in my basement that I painted with a chroma key friendly green color. This setup ensures that there are no wrinkles to deal with, eliminating at least one of the variables in green screen work. As far as lighting, make sure to light your background and your subject, in this case me, separately. You'll need even lighting over your green screen in order to easily remove it in your video editing software. You don't have to have high-dollar lights. In fact, I bought 2 low-cost fluorescent shop lights and mounted them on stands to light my green screen. If you go that route though, be sure to get shop lights with an electric ballast rather than the older magnetic ballast system so your camera doesn't pick up flicker from the fluorescent light bulbs. Also be sure to use bulbs that are a consistent white color. Now if you buy one of the kits out there available on Amazon and such that come with a few lights and a green backdrop, all that's already taken care of so you don't have to worry about it. Once you have your green screen itself evenly lit, use 1 or more lights to light your subject and try to match that light to the environment they're going to be placed in once you pull out the green screen. It could be that you're trying to light somebody that's going to be in a scene that's outside, like this, or they're going to be inside like this. So match your lights accordingly. Also, if you're able, be sure to light the subject from above and a little bit to the back to help light up the hair to create a crisp key around the subject's head. As far as video, you can use anything from a mobile phone to a professional video camera. Just be sure to capture your footage in the highest resolution possible since that will make pulling the background out easier. Use a tripod whenever possible unless you're going for that handheld look. And if your camera has a manual focus, be sure to focus on the subject and not the background, and have your subject stand at least a foot or 2 in front of the green screen, or even further if possible. This will make it easier to pull out the background when you get to editing. Audio is important too, so be sure to use an external mic if possible and get as close to your subject as possible. The further the mic is away from your subject, the roomier or boomier the audio will sound. Lavalier mics are inexpensive and can plug right into your iPhone or professional camera. In my case, I have a boom mic mounted above my head, which works well for my purposes. Finally, editing. There are several apps out there to choose from, everything from iMovie to Vegas Video to Adobe Premiere and more, that make it easy to use this effect. In my case, I'm using Adobe Premiere, and when you layer your green screen footage over a track with the background image or video, you can start to apply the chroma key effect to remove the background. In my case, I'm using Adobe's Ultra Key plugin, and you can see that as I choose the color of the background, it removes everything that matches the specific green I chose. From there, I can adjust things such as the matte transparency, key tolerance, and other settings to dial in the effect and make it look as realistic as possible. You can also use cropping tools to crop out parts of the track you don't want, such as lights and such. So don't worry too much about anything in the frame that shouldn't be there. It can always be removed, as they say, in post. That's a quick and dirty primer to filming videos such as this one using a green screen. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Tech Talk.